This is an introduction to functions at GCSE. We have two equations written there, y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals x squared plus 4, and an instruction to substitute x equals to 5. It's not a very good instruction because I don't know whether that means to substitute the 5 into this one or this one. To overcome this, we can write these rules down, these equations down as functions, and we do so like this. So instead of writing the y equals 2x plus 1, I've written f bracket x bracket equals 2x plus 1. And instead of writing y equals x squared plus 4, I've written g bracket x bracket equals x squared plus 4. So the reason why we write it like in this form is it allows us to distinguish between the two equations, between the two rules. I now know whenever I mention f, I'm talking about this rule, and whenever I say g, I'm talking about this rule. The way we say this, by the way, is we say f of x, the function of x, and we say g of x. So if I'm now substituting x equals to 5, I can put 5 here instead of the x. So when I say f of 5, that means to substitute 5 into the f rule. So 2 times 5 plus 1 is 11. When I say g of 5, I get I substitute the 5 in here, and I get 5 squared plus 4 is 29. So that's the basics of functions, really. It's just a way of writing down a rule with a slightly different notation, writing f of x, g of x. There are some further details to functions that you'll cover more in your A-levels. It is a bit more precise. There is another slight difference between these things, but we don't need to worry too much about that until A-level. So here's a couple of examples that I'm going to do, and then you're going to have a go at some yourselves. So I've got two functions. I've got f of x equals 2x cubed plus 4. I've got g of x is 10 over x plus 2x. So if I were to work out f of 2, that would be telling me to substitute 2 into the f function. So I put 2 here. 2 times 2 cubed. 2 cubed is 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Plus 4, 20. If I said g of 5, that's telling me to substitute 5 into the g function. So 10 over 5 is 2, plus 2 times 5 is 10, so 2 plus 10 is 12. If I said f of minus 1, that's telling me to substitute the minus 1 into the f function. So minus 1 cubed is minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Times 2 is minus 2, plus the 4 is 2. G of minus 2, that's telling me to put minus 2, to substitute minus 2 into the g function. So 10 divided by minus 2 is minus 5. 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. And minus 5 plus minus 4 is minus 9. So here is a couple of questions for you to have a go at. So press pause and have a go at each of these questions on paper. Important you actually do this so to check your understanding, so make sure you have a go at this. When you're ready, press play, because I'll show you the answers and you can mark it. There we go. Hopefully you got that right, and if you didn't, hopefully you can spot what your mistake is. Right. Gets a little bit harder when we talk about something called composite functions, where it's where we have more than one together. So first I just want to explain what this means when it says f g of x. It does not mean f and g are multiplied together. This is a shorter way of writing this. This just allows us to write this without the extra brackets. You can see we've got two sets of brackets here, and this allows me to only have one set of brackets. So this means the same thing as this, which means that I substitute the x into the g function first, and then I get my answer to that, and then that gets substituted into the f function. Whereas this one, the g f of x, that means the same thing as g of f of x. So this means to substitute the x into the f function first, get my answer, and then substitute that into the g function. Might sound complicated, hopefully it's not once we've done an example. So here are my two functions, f of x and g of x, and I want to work out fg of 2. So that's telling me to substitute 2 into the g function first, g of 2, get my answer, and then substitute that into the f function. So when I substitute 2 into the g function, when I put 2 here, 2 squared is 4. So g of 2 is 4. I'm now going to substitute 4 into the f function. So put 4 into here, 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9. Next, gf of 2. Again, that might look similar to this, but they are not the same thing. This means different to this. This is saying to substitute the 2 into the f function first, get my answer, and then substitute that into the g function. So when I put 2 into my f function, into here, 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. So f of 2 is 5. I am now going to substitute that into the g function. So when I put 5 into the g function, 5 squared is 25. Notice that these give different answers. This is not the same thing as this. They mean different things. So the order in which these are written are very important. So I'm going to do an example and then you're going to do one. So here are my two functions. F of x is 2x squared plus 3, g of x is 4x minus 1. And if I wanted to work out fg of 1, that's telling me to substitute 1 into the g function first. So when I put 1 into the g function, I get 4 times 1 minus 1 is 3. I'm now going to substitute that into the f function. So put 3 here, 2 times 3 squared plus 3. So 2 times 9 is 18, plus the 3 is 21. gf of minus 2. So I'm substituting minus 2 into the f function first. So I'm putting minus 2 in here. Minus 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So f of minus 2 is 11. I am then going to substitute the 11 into the g function. So 4 times 11 is 44, minus 1 is 43. Now it's your turn. So there's a couple of questions there for you to have a go at. So press pause. Make sure you have a go at both of those questions there. When you're ready, press play so you can check to see whether you've got the right answer or not. There we go. So double check to make sure you got that correct. If you didn't, hopefully you can spot your mistake. So that's it for introducing what functions are and substituting numbers into them, and doing some work on composite functions. That should be enough for you to get going on section A of the worksheet.